guys, it's Jen, and long time no product review, but I thought I would break my no product review trend because the Naked Heat palette is about to come out. I literally just got this in the mail yesterday, and I am so stoked. Does stoked have something to do with fire? I am scorched because I'm super excited about this palette. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I've always wanted to see a warm toned neutral palette. I know there have been quite a lot of products that have been out in the last couple of years that are really red toned, like Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, which I do love, but there's just that missing gap that, like, the reason why I loved Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette was because it had those perfect warm chestnutty butterscotch kind of colors. I have really yellow undertones in my skin, so when I wear neutrals that are too cool, it starts to just look really muddy and gray on me, but that's why I love something like this. Like all of Urban Decay's Naked palettes, this has 12 shades. They are full-size eyeshadows. It's basically the exact same shape and size as all of their Naked palettes, which I'm sure you're all very familiar with, but this packaging is absolutely gorgeous. Like some of their more recent ones and also the Naked SMOKY, it comes in a acrylic plastic package and it's magnetized. Plus there's also a really large mirror at the top, which if you're wanting to do your eyeshadow and look at it, it's plenty of space to check out what you're doing. There's also a double-ended brush at the bottom, but I believe all of the Naked palettes also include a dual-ended brush now. So I know what you guys want to know the most is, what do these colors look like? So I have them all swatched out on my arm, and let's just go through from left to right. I'm gonna start off with the lightest shade Ounce. It's a highlight color, and I would say it's almost like a really light peach, because I guess if you mix orange with white, you get a peach. It has a little hint of like a pearlescence, so it's not totally matte, but I think that's really good because it pops. I actually have it on my brow bone right now. If I wear it on my inner corners, it doesn't like look metallic. It's just like a very mild peachy pearl. The next shade is called Chaser. This is closest to my skin tone out of all of the colors, but I feel like it's really good if you're just trying to blend out a color and you want it to blend into your skin color versus like going a little bit deeper. That one also is a little bit more on the peachy side versus other transitional colors that I've seen. The next one is actually one of my favorite shades. This is called Sauced, and I feel like this is my perfect contour blending shade. This reminds me of the orangey color in my Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. I would say it's even a little hint of a little more orangey than almost every transitional color out there. And then the next one after that is called Low Blow. It's a little bit more of a traditional brown. It's not quite as orangey, but I'm kind of glad that they included two different transitional colors because that's really going to cover whether you are cool toned or warm toned. They're both about the same pigmentation and about the same darkness. Next is Lumber. Lumber to me is what NARS Orgasm is as a blush with just a little bit more peachiness, but it still has that gold overtone that makes it really, really pretty. It's not quite as buttery as some of the other metallic shadows from Urban Decay that I've had in the past. The gold is there, but it doesn't read on your skin like gold. It's definitely more of that peachy tone with just a shine of gold. Next is He Devil. People thought that it was a typo, but it's not. It's actually He Devil, not She Devil. This one is more of a matte rusty brown. I would say this one definitely has a little bit more red than some of the other shadows in the collection, but I really like that if I'm going for an everyday look but still really warm kind of eye. This would be the color that I would choose to do in the outer contour area. The next shade is Dirty Talk, and I think this one might be my favorite from the entire palette. To say it's copper isn't really doing it justice because it's a lot more fiery than that. There are a lot of more orangey tones to this one as well, but it definitely has that metallic finish. If I wanted to do a really quick eyeshadow look using just one eyeshadow color, this is what I would choose because even if you just use the one color, it'll still give you that really dimensional look look that makes you look like you put more effort into it than you actually did. So the next shade is called Scorched. It is also another metallic. Two of the mid-toned metallic colors are sitting right next to each other. This one has a little bit more red undertones in it. It's still in that like bronzy coppery family though. So not like bronze, like grayish neutral, more like grandmother of rose gold. Next is Cayenne. That's right here. This one is another matte shade. This kind of almost reminds me of a warm tree trunk in the spring. This one I would say is the same darkness as He Devil, but He Devil is definitely more red based, and this is more of a neutral warm brown. Next we have El Fuego, which is yet another matte shade. This one is definitely a lot more on your burgundy side. It has those red undertones, but it's going into those really deeper shades that are going to work again as an eyeliner, a contour color, but I feel like this would work best with the redder colors in the palette. Next is Ashes, which is, I guess, this palette's substitute for like a black shadow. It's not a black, it's a dark brown, and to me it's almost like a hint of like plumminess. It's like very dark neutral brown with just a tiny bit of purple in it. I hope you guys know what I mean. Like within a color there can be, you know, warmer blues and cooler blues, and this brown is a more neutral brown with more red tones and not so much yellow tones. So this last shade, this one I think maybe is what's making the one before it look a little more purple. This one actually I feel like does have some purple to it. This one's called Ember, and I would say this is more of a duochrome kind of finish because I feel like the base is almost like a matte black color, but then the shine has that darker bronzy, almost purple, and it feels like there's a little bit of a pink shift. Like when I tilt my arm, I can see the pinkiness. So I think that's what's making it look purple, and it's also causing this one to look purple, even though it's not really like purple. This is actually a pretty neutral dark brown. I feel like if you're going to do a smoky, like a true dark all over smoky eye, this is probably what I would use on the ball of my eyelid just to like hit that light and still keep those dark tones. I'm not gonna go too in depth in the other products in the collection, but they also did send me 2 eyeliner pencils. This is Torch and Alkaline. Torch is the top one. It's definitely your more orangey toned pencil. This would be fun to play around with if I'm not wearing any eyeshadow and I just want to figure out a look with an eye pencil. This would be really pretty just to like ring the eyes and then have the contrast of like some really dark lashes. I think that would be very, very cool and edgy. And then Alkaline is more of your purpley eggplant burgundy kind of shade. This is a warm purple. It's almost like a prune. I know that doesn't sound pretty, but I do like the redder tones in this versus it being like a cooler toned purple. This is actually what I'm wearing on my lower lash line. And speaking of all of this, I did do an entire makeup tutorial for the look I'm wearing. It's actually gonna be going up next week, so stay tuned to the channel and I'll show you guys how I put together a look with all these colors. And then they also had 3 lipsticks. I believe these are limited edition. I'm not a huge fan of metallic lipsticks, but 2 of the lipsticks from the collection are metallic. The one I'm wearing right now is called Heat. The other metallized one is called Scorched. This one is more like your medium, almost sepia toned. I feel like it's very like 90s throwback warm medium brown. And then the third lipstick from the collection is more of a nude kind of color. This is called Fuel in their cream finish. And that's a really pretty like everyday peachy toned color. I really love that one. I feel like that's a really great kind of like MLBB-ish shade, which you know is my favorite. MLBB, My Lips But Better. Okay, so in conclusion, here are my thoughts of the entire collection. The lipsticks, I feel like for me personally, because I'm not a huge fan of metallized lipsticks, if I'm gonna splurge on a lipstick, it's gonna be Fuel, which was that MLBB shade. Anything that's warmer toned and you just want an everyday lipstick to go with it, it's gonna be really great. In terms of the eyeliners, for me, I tend to just grab my black or brown eyeliner most of the time since I just blend it with the eyeshadow. However, if you're a big like pencil eyeliner person and you just want those warm tones, I think those are also a great option. In terms of the eyeshadow palette, this to me feels a lot more orange toned than a lot of the other warm palettes out there. So if you're lacking those orangey colors, and if that goes really well with your skin, if you have really strong yellow undertones in your skin like I do, then I feel like this would be a great option because you can definitely get a lot of everyday looks from it. Unfortunately, what I find to be lacking is there isn't really a really like hot, bright, gold kind of color. I really wanted Lumber to be that, but I feel like it just doesn't have the like really bright fire that I wanted it to. In terms of the mid-tones and the dark tones, I think that's where this palette really hits it out of the park. These two metallic shades are really, really gorgeous. They're really soft and smooth, and you won't really be disappointed in it. But I will say that quite a lot of the shades, they look different when they're swatched, but I feel like on the eyes, they kind of read so similarly. It feels like a little bit repetitive. I like all of the colors in the palette, but it doesn't seem like 1000% like a complete, this is my only neutral eyeshadow palette that I'm going to just do every single look for all the time. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this pretty thorough review of the Naked Heat palette. I have also reviewed some of the other past like Naked palettes, so if you want to see any of those, I will link those down below and leave a little like info annotation up there. If you found this helpful, I would so appreciate it if you would hit that thumbs up button so that other people can also discover my videos. And if you'd like to be notified, notification squad, of my videos that are coming out, then hit that little bell next to subscribed so that you can see my videos when they are coming out. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!